Kamusta ka na? Ayos ka lang ba? Happy ka ba? O sad pa rin ba? Kaya't halika na, sumama ka na sa pinagrupi na at iba pa. Bata matanda, biyuda at biyuda, may asawa man o kaya'y wala. Sama-sama tayo'y maglakbay, dito ka na, di ka na mag-iisa. Bebop, bebop na tayo, bebop, bebop na. Let us be hip and let us up, tara sa munting tahanan, tahanan ni Kristo.
Good afternoon. Welcome to
Hello.
Bebop and happy Easter.
Good afternoon.
Yes, we're still in Easter season, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we're speaking in English. And our viewers in other countries, like in USA, they love this show because we're speaking in English. But later on, I will be the one to translate a little bit. Okay, so because beside us, can you see that pogging reverend? You understand that, Rev? Pogging.
I do. Okay, handsome or something like that.
Oh, you see? He can speak Tagalog. So, Rev,
Konti lang.
yeah, so let us hear from Reverend Anthony.
So, good afternoon or good morning, good evening, if any of your time. And I am very pleased to meet you all. And I'm giving Amoris Laetitia, paragraph 98, which speaks about love. Okay. And before going to the text itself, I like to go back to my experience, because as a priest, I think I don't come from a cloud, but I come from a family. You know, a priest doesn't fall from the sky, but they are born out of the family. So without the love in the family, my vocation would be meaningless and reasonless. So I am born out of the family. My vocation itself is the fruit of the family, which I have experienced it. I am from Myanmar, which means, you know, majority of the population in our country are 85%, 86% are Buddhists. So they practice Buddhism. So Catholic, only 1%. Only 1% in the country of the population. Muslim and Hindus are of minority. They are of 4%, 6%. So I belong to that 1%. And I was just thinking about it, that I am a Catholic, born in a Catholic family, from the devout Catholic parents, devout Catholic family. You know, every time I think of it, like I belong to that small little 1%. I'm so blessed to have received that faith. And that faith that I have, the Catholic faith, doesn't come from anywhere but from my parents, from my mother and from my father, and from my brothers and sisters. Amoris Laetitia, paragraph 98, speaks about love which is not boastful, love which is not arrogant, love which is against pride. Very fundamental. This is very fundamental, because I would like to stress this one. Because when you are on the mission, when you're on the mission of love, pride must be the one, the real enemy that is really after us, you know. You know, if you go to the very beginning of the Bible, pride is the most primordial, the most fundamental human sin, which is still now invading our hearts and invading the world. Look at Putin. Pride, I would say pride, which is completely against love. Paragraph 98, if I may read it, it starts with that. It is important for Christians to show their love by the way they treat the family members who are less knowledgeable about their faith and weak and less sure in their own convictions. So as I grew up in my Catholic family, surely I didn't know anything about my Catholic faith. I grew in my faith. My parents, who were already in that faith, they were devout Catholics, as I said. They were bringing me to the masses, daily masses. By the way, this is the start of my vocation story, my daily masses. I became a choir in a very young age. So they were bringing me to the church. They were teaching me, guiding me through their love in this faith. There are so many times, usually in a family dinner table, my papa and my mama, they would always talk about the day, how we have lived through the day. Like papa would talk about the work that he has encountered, this people and that people, and this problem and that problem. My mom would talk about the price of the commodities and things like that, you know, and what is going on in the church today and things like the dinner table was the education table in that manner. It was pedagogy of faith was going on in that table. So my mom and dad, especially also my eldest sister, they were not so much about proving their own faith, because Amoris Laetitia, this paragraph 98 speaks about love which is not boastful. So my mom, the perfect example that I have seen in my parents and father and mother and my brothers and sisters, it's not about their pride. I mean, they are proud to be Catholic, but not prideful Catholics, not proudful Catholics, you know, like they're not boastful. They're humble in the way that they present the faith, in the way that they bring about a faith in you. Here it says, at times the opposite occurs, he said. Instead of you belonging to the family, instead of being nourished in the family, the opposite occurs, Pope Francis says. What is the opposite? Let's go and see. Supposedly, the mature believers, like my parents, they were mature believers already. I'm an initial in my faith. Within the family, become unbearably arrogant. Love, on the other hand, is marked with humility, and if with understanding, forgiving, and service at the heart, which means that in communicating your love to the younger generation, we must always do so in this context with humility, with understanding and forgiveness. In my family, there wasn't much a problem. But in those family, I may have seen, if I may have experienced it, I've seen a family who became a Catholic, who received a Catholic faith. They are young in their faith, so to say. But, you know, there are sometimes, sadly also, some people who would look at them who are really initiating in their own faith. They're just starting, like a flower just blooming, you know, like that. You need a lot of care to be given to. But instead, the people who are mature in their faith sometimes can be very arrogant, like in calling them, you know, you got to be living like this, you are not supposed to be behaving this way and that way, like reprimanding or enforcing. This is contrary to the faith. It's contrary to the love, because love is against pride, I say. Love is against arrogance, I say. And the Pope says, of course, which means when you are on the mission towards educating in faith, in love, you need a lot of humility. Humility makes you go down to the level that they are, where they are. You don't wait on top, so that you don't bring people up like that. You stay on top and you bring people. That's not the way. But Amoris Laetitia 98 is suggesting a way that you go down, walk together, side by side. You're not ahead, you're not behind, side by side, accompanying friend, or which is not, if you're leading, there can be a pride so much. It may not be real Christ, that it may be your pride leading the people. But instead, you have got to walk side by side. In that way, you are on the same ground. at the deepest part of your faith, you come to know that you are nothing. In that way, you are necessarily on the same level with those who are just starting. So that's what I like to stress here in this 98 paragraph. In sharing our love, humility, going down to their level, walking together, standing side by side, through understanding and forgiveness, instead of like reprimanding, instead of you gotta be doing this, saying like that sort of language. Okay, let's walk together. Let's find out together. God is a mystery, faith is a mystery, but we are all in it together. I'm not ahead of you, I'm not behind you, I'm side by side. In that way, we grow towards God, towards faith, towards the imitation of Christ. I think we can see the differentiating. You know, the more you grow in your faith, the more you have, the lower you go down. I think you can see the signs. Maybe like even from starting from the smile. So, okay, let me be practical now.
Yeah.
If you go to the church, okay, after the mass, yeah, you may like to wish the priest like, hello, Father, good morning and all. But standing beside the priest is a sacristan maybe, working, or koa maybe, usher maybe, a lady maybe. You try to wish a priest and you neglect the other guy who is helping in the church. And in that way, I think sometimes it happens. Sometimes we are not grateful to those people, little people who are contributing so much. I think that it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot. And in that way, you can see the signs, how much lower you go down as you grow in your faith. You can be a friend to anybody, like smiling around, helping anyone. There are signs, and you can notice that. Starting from the smile, I would say.
Okay.
Starting from the way you stand in the church event. Sometimes beside you, it's a kind of obvious, why you are trying to show up or you're trying to pray. Really, it's obvious. I don't have to express it, but like, you know what we're talking about, something like that. There are obvious external signs that manifest whether are you sincere or not sincere at all. Maybe that's how I would treat it. Pride has to be healed, and our humility must increase. As sons and daughters of Adam and Eve, as fallen people, pride is like a chocolate cake, which is always tempting you to take it and eat, something like that. Like that temptation of like Eve, taking the fruit from the tree, grasping that very figure, like I'm grasping it. That we like to grasp thing, like I'm pride, I know thing. This grasping mentality. Instead, Mother Mary is letting go. So I think in that way, when you let go, when you say that, when you walk together, you're saying that I'm not of the grasping mentality. I'm healing this. I'm untying this pride. I'm untying it. I am letting go. Okay. So when you try to wish somebody who is much lower, or like working in the church, sacristan or anybody, koa maybe, you are necessarily required to let go of your pride, to go to wish, to say good morning to him, or to say good afternoon to him, to say hello to him. You need to heal that pride, let go of the pride, so that you can say and you can wish and you can meet people around. Maybe that's a sickness everybody has, I think. Always at our back. We got to be watch out for it. Especially the problem is, I don't know, as you think you grow higher in your faith, you think, I don't know whether you're really into it or you're really deep. If you think your faith is deep, in that aspect already, you're already falling. If you think you're deep in faith, that thinking even, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm good enough. I think I know God enough. But in that way, I think that is already the pride, I think. This is already entering.
Yes, that's correct.
So that how I would summarize it. Love is not boastful, not arrogance, but love is patient. Love is willing the good of the other, which means you will the good of that person. It's not about you anymore. It's about him and it's about his growth. So we go together in that.
We really appreciate, Reverend. And
Thank you.
thank you for accommodating us in
Yeah.
this program of PIPAP.
People.
Yeah. Can you give us your last message for our viewers?
Yeah.
Okay. Before the message, I would like to request for some prayers because right now, just for myself, I'm becoming a priest. So pray for me in this crucial moment. That's for me at least. Thank you. And pray for my country, which is in political crisis and military coup d'etat. So we are really oppressed under military. So kindly pray for our families and the people around. Families are really devastatingly going through a deep crisis. So please do pray. And the final message, I would say, it was about love. So I think this definition of love, which I'm always hold on to, is the definition given by St. Thomas Aquinas. But don't think that it's in the book, in the paper. But I think if we can bring it to our hands and to our feet and to our mouth and heart, that would be really wonderful. That statement says that love is willing the good of the other. Love is willing the good of the other, which means it's not about you anymore. It's about him, somebody that you love. We can see that perfect example in our parents. They have given everything for us. In that way, my parents wills my good. Now, who am I now? Let's go out and will the good of the other right now, which is love. Bye-bye and lovely to meet you all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you so very much.
Narinig niyo yun, no? Talagang grabe talaga yung pagmamahal ng magulang, ano. Kitang-kita talaga doon sa mga sa parents ni Red.
Nakakatuwa yung family nila, no? Eh, parang sila ay minority doon sa ano na yun.
1% lang sila eh.
Oo.
Na Katoliko, ha? So, in spite of that, no, yung parents niya, talagang napalaki sila na, yan, tingnan mo, naging pari pa nga yung anak nila eh. Pero, ang kagandahan niyan, hindi ba yung parang finors sila, hinaras, sila pinilit, maniwala ka sa ganito, ganyan, hindi.
Pinakita ng parents.
Na maganda yung pagkakasabi, maganda yung pagkaka-educate sa kanila.
By modeling, witnessing. Ang ganda ng title natin eh, yung ano, it's not about me, it's about you. Yun. Eh, alam mo, dun sa love na ito, ang talagang focus, hindi sa'yo. Ang focus nandun sa iyong mga kasama, lalo na sa loob ng family. Eh, nabanggit nga rito eh, yung pumasok siya sa ano, love in marriage. Ang subtitle is Love is Not Boastful. Pero doon sa loob, sa Amoris Laetitia 98, ang sinasabi rin, but love on the other hand is marked by humility. So, ngayon, pagka sinabi is not about me, eh ikaw habang nagmamature sa iyong faith or sa pagmamahal, eh unti-unti ikaw ang bumababa.
Yes.
So that others will increase. Di ba? So, ikaw, tayo, ako halimbawa, kung nagmamature ako, I am decreasing. Si Jesus, tumataas, but kasama niya yung iba pa. Alam mo, sa family, minsan nangyayari yun, yung bang hindi ka nga nagyayabang, hindi ka nga arrogante, but you are making a joke out of the defects or yung mga kahinaan ng mga kasama mo sa bahay.
Yes, lalo na kung physical, di ba?
Oo. Eh, alam mo di ba nung nagbibigay tayo nung suyuan sa mga mag-asawa, parang refresher course yun, Eh, ang sinasabi natin, you are not supposed to focus on the weaknesses or defects ng iyong partner. You are supposed to edify.
Yes.
Angat mo siya.
Mm-mm.
Yun. Pareho kayo, dapat ganun ang ginagawa nyo. Hindi yung ibababa. Parang ano na rin yun being arrogant and boastful pagka yung hindi mo nga sinasadya na ibaba siya. Pero dahil ganun ang sistema, ikaw ang tumataas. So yun yung isa sa gusto kong makita natin dito. No? Yan kasi yung mga hindi halata na sinasabi natin, hindi naman ako arrogante
Oo. O kaya yung yung madalas din sa minsan sa kahit nga sa anak no, or sa asawa, sa family, porket akala mo na, syempre, pamilya yan, hindi yan magagalit kasi nanay ka, hindi yan magagalit kasi asawa mo. Pero kung magbiro ka, below the belt naman. Lalo na kung kunyari maraming tao, kahit basta nabibiro mo siya kayong dalawa, okay lang. Pero bago mo sabihin yung biro mo, dapat tignan mo muna maraming tao. Yung bang mga tao na yun naiintindihan nila? Pwede ka nga pang ikaw pa nga mismo ang mamisinterpret dahil parang ginagawa mong laughing stock yung taong yun, di ba? Hindi mo alam yung feeling ng taong yun.
Ako sanay na ako. Noon, alam mo, ganun ako magbiro. Yung mga joke ko, ganun I make fun of the other person. Masaya kasi, nakakatawa. Pero, kailangan pa ba tansyahin? Pero, anything na pinapalaki yung defect, na ma-magnify, yung na ma-magnify yung defect ng iba, is not good. Kung hindi maganda yun, bakit mo pa gagawin? So, better practice na iwasan yung ganon, and better practice na mag-edify ka na lang.
Mas masarap magsabi ng positive kesa yung negative. Wag naman yung OA ka, di ba? Ibig ko sabihin, example, sa pagkain, kunyari, magluluto si June. Impis na sasabihin mo, ay, hindi masarap, o maalat, gano'n. Isipin mo, nagluto siya. Di ba? Yung pagod niya. Di ba? Ano ba naman yung sabihin mo, masarap naman o di ba?
Ako naman, nahihirapan akong yung parang yung talagang hindi naman masyado. Naghahanap talaga ako. Ibig sabihin, catch the right thing. Pwede ka naman talaga may makita talagang maganda yung ginawa niya. It's either the effort o kaya yung kanyang product. Minsan yung final output niya hindi masyado maganda, pero I appreciate the effort. Yun.
Totoo. At saka normally, sabi kasi pamilya. Pero pwede tayong lumabas sa grupo. Kasi minsan ang mga grupo, parang ang feeling, pamilya na rin. Lalo na pag community na kayo, pamilya na yan. So ang feeling pag pamilya, ganun din sa community. Kaya minsan, kung paano ba i-treat yung family mo, nabibiro-biro mo, akala mo ganun din yung community, akala mo matitake niya yung biro mo, yung pala, below the belt na parang nasasaktan na pala siya, pero ikaw, natutuwa ka. No, hindi mo, I'm sure, wala ka namang intention na masama, kaya lang isipin mo na, paano niya kaya i-take yun? Baka naman masaktan siya. Hindi, to play safe, tumahin mo na lang biruin ulit ng tungkol sa mga negative. Di ba? Kasi parang hindi maganda talaga.
So ang lesson talaga is to be humble. Medyo mahirap ngayon kung nasanay ka na parang gustong-gusto mo yung masaya na nagiging joke mo yung kahinaan ng iba. But if you do not want to do it, God will give you the grace.
Yan. Kaya nga nung tinanong mo nga kay Rev, di ba, sabi mo na, paano mo, mapunta tayo doon sa pagiging Katoliko, di ba? How to say na I am proud to be a Catholic without being arrogant. Di ba? Minsan kasi ang yabang mo. No? Dahil ang galing-galing na, galing ko, magbabasa ka na ng Bible, mga ganon. Hindi ba? Parang nagiging mayabang ka ngayon. Ang sabi nga ni Rev, na sanabi din ni Pope Francis yun, na the more na gumagaling ka, the more na dapat bumababa ka.
Yeah.
Pero kung ang nararamdaman mo, ang galing-galing mo, para doon na pumapasok yung pride, doon na pumapasok
para
yung
kang lumulutang.
yeah, yung arrogant ka. Yun. So, ikaw din, no? Tayo rin ang makakaramdam ng ganun sa sarili natin. Okay?
Okay. So, maganda yung lesson na nakita natin. Kasi alam mo, minsan hindi ko nga napapansin yan eh. Pero ngayon, I'm becoming curious or parang conscious na ako pagka meron mga ganyan. I think we should adapt it in our family.
Yes.
And also,
Sa community.
community.
So, maingat tayo, magbiro sa ating mga kasama, kahit na kabiruan natin siya, no? Mag-isip tayo ng 101 times,
Inspiring.
no? Dapat sana inspiring ang sasabihin natin, imbis na ang biro natin, pwedeng makasakit. Diba?
Hindi degrading.
Yes, okay. And tamang-tama, ngayon, itong mga asawa natin, pwede nilang ipakita sa atin ngayon.
Yeah,
dahil Mother's Day today. Di ba? So, hindi namin mababating masasabi ngayon yung mga winners, siguro next week na. No? So, pero ina-announce pa rin namin, no? Meron kasi tayong Mother's Day tribute. Sana nakapag-submit kayo. No? I'm sure meron ng mga nag-submit, pero yung announcement ng winners, pati yung mga names ng mothers nyo, na next week natin i-announce. Okay. So, we'll see you again next week. Happy Mother's Day! Happy Easter! At malapit na yung pontifical coronation ng Mary Help. We'll see you on the 24th.
Bukas. Boboto, ha? Bukas.
Ay, oo, bukas. Yan,
boto niya si Wisely.
Ano yun? Sino yun?
Vote wisely.
Yes.
Reminder din, ha? Huwag kayong mag-aaway. Pagkatapos na election, bati-bati na ulit.
Yes. Bati-bati na. Tama na yan. Okay. Bye. We'll see you next week. Bye.